let's have a public-private attempt at, say, cleaning up the hospitals or the schools or the roads or something like that, so that we don't leave it to the government all the time. And we could have a course in civics, which we used to have in school. None of the children are taught any civic sense now anymore.
So we are also talking about beautifying the city, but we are neglecting parts of the city. I work a lot in the old city of Hyderabad, and I see that it's quite neglected, whether it is for parks or any good recreational spaces. There are so many areas in the south zone where we hardly have any parks, whereas all the parks are located in the different other parts of Hyderabad. This is one point I would like to raise, that even the bylanes and the lanes of Hyderabad city have people who would want some good beautiful spaces. So I feel that inclusive beauty is what we should look at holistically. And also, when I say inclusive, it doesn't mean just area wise. I don't mean that some areas don't have. There are people, I work a lot with special needs people, and they do not have spaces where they could go spend some time away from their homes and clutter. And I mean, as an attempt to this, I have initiated a park for special needs children in Malakpet, near Nalgonda Crossroads, wherein we thought that if we have parks like these, or if we have urban spaces like these for various groups, then they would get included in the community as a whole. And I think a beautiful city is all about inclusive beautification, and not just beautifying smaller areas.
Be original in your idea.
Yes, of course. Your question of beautiful city, I would say beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. So they say healthy, as a health promoter, I would see a city as healthy. I would always wish that the city should be healthy. And healthy means not just this with respect to physical health, but health with respect to health and environment, everything. It's called as harmony. You are in harmony with your nature, with your surrounding. So, and Mr. Jayeshji said about connectedness. That's one vision I also share with him, is the connectedness of the individual with the place where you stay. So it need not be a very posh locality. It can be any place. If they say the emotional bond, people have emotional bond with their native places, the place where they born or they grew up. So it can be anything. It not be the prime locality of Hyderabad. It can be the old city of Hyderabad. So it is that connection. So we are losing connection. When we say Hyderabad means, okay, my Hyderabad is only Malakpet. People in the other side of the town will say, my Hyderabad is only high-tech city. So, but Hyderabad is not only old city. It's everything. But there is a natural, that is how cities, as Professor Ji said, it is villages actually, which, or rather we would say, I would say communities. Communities can be any place where people meet, where people live, where people work. That's the place where they enjoy, where they recreate. So that is places, communities. So it is the connection you need to keep with yourself, with your family, with your surrounding, and with the whole city as a whole. So Hyderabad is growing. So when you say my Hyderabad means, it's very big. I am not born and brought up in Hyderabad, but yes, I have a connection with Hyderabad, which is irrespective of the place where I'm staying. So it's a little broader view of a beautiful city.
So whole context of the standardization or the mediocrity, where does the concept of aesthetics come into our day-to-day existence? We are all so concerned with many of the other things in life. We all have to work, earn our livelihoods. So where do you think, one by one, is the disconnect happening from the concept of aesthetics to the standardization or mediocrity?
We have about 100 Hyderabad. Each pin code, each pin code is Hyderabad, like Cyberabad, all those things. I say 100 Hyderabad are there. So though we come from like Rayalaseema or coastal region, my thing is like standardization. When you made a city book in a city big, like children should walk to school and run back home. See, transportation. Everybody aspiring to be at HPS. There, Cyberabad, or this thing, like that. So many small
So you're
things which
talking
add up.
about a self-sustained
Community.
units,
Like I
communities.
live in
Okay.
a Pragati Nagar, that Cyberabad place. It's
Yeah,
IoT
but it's-
certified Gram Panchayat,
Yeah.
where it's more.
I think it's
like
very
we
interesting
need more.
point.
All over the world. 15 years back, I was really planning ki now it's time, my children are grown up, I should leave city. It's a very dirty city, very bad city. But I think Chandrababu Naidu has done a wonders to this city because I have dropped my idea. I find Banjara Hill, Jubilee Hills, Madhavpur and the city is so beautiful. And I have explored Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta. No city has an area like Banjara Hill, Jubilee Hills and other part of the city is so beautiful. Chandrababu Naidu has brought the city on the map of the world. So each of us, if we can play a role of Chandrababu Naidu, this city will be the most beautiful city and most beautiful place in the world.
We can learn from maybe even and incorporate into Hyderabad, whether it's on the aesthetic front, whether it's tree planting, whether it's architectural preservation, or whether it's community building and having, you know, political activism at a ward level and the villages that you were referring to that we all live in. So if we care only about our immediate space and not the greater Hyderabad space, and it's hard to get people engaged at the greater Hyderabad space, then let's start making our circles smaller and try and do things with the communities that you live around or that you work around. And again, regardless of economic kind of class or criteria, but just work in smaller circles.
N.T. Ramarao suggested for satellite township, which has been forgotten by the present government. In fact, when the satellite township comes, means government also will move. Now in Mumbai, the income tax department moved, municipality moved, so that I don't move out of my satellite town. That's not happening. So when these things are not moving, even today to pay my municipal tax, I have to come down to the Malakpet, which is not right.
Yeah, so I think it's the same thing. That's what I think. That
Second point I want to say is not to blame the government, but Madhavpur was developed as a village to a city, which is a beautiful one, but there was no vision. In fact, as a common man, I can't visualize. It's the planners, the government has to do that. When they have not visualized properly to the extent of the development, what is going to happen next 5 years, who should be blamed?
Okay.
Somebody, there's
So,
accountability on this, who has to take it?
I mean, it is a brutal act by the modern, anything modern. I'm not holding anybody responsible for it. But please remember, city in turn doesn't keep quiet. The village in turn doesn't keep quiet. It comes and generates, it comes on the road through their bullocks, their rickshaws, on pedestrians walking in between the vehicles and then generating traffic jams. I see something very interesting happening under the on the roads of Hyderabad. Right. That these SUV vehicles, which are generally made to run, go on 200 per kilometer, are made to walk like a 1-year child. I mean, it is one of the sights to watch and maybe write poetry and this. So I think there is a grudge between those two things. Yeah. There is an interaction happening there. No, I'm not endorsing this this thing. I'm saying that just see what is happening in front of us. And this is a disconnect.
So would you say that instead of trying to say that the villages and the so-called city being together, how would you react to this idea that can we look at Hyderabad, which has enough examples of villages being in part of it, as a bigger village, or should we look at it as a city? Would that make any difference in the approach?
It is a place where village and city are fighting with each other in two different times, in a sequential manner. The play is between, at the same time. Okay. But these are the people where, the goal is, one side is putting the goal at time 1, and the other side is, after the match is over, other side is putting the goal on the at 1. Okay. So that is something which is very interesting. That.
So in your opinion, this could largely be put under a planning issue?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Ananda.
Huge glass, 5 stories, 10 stories, all in glass. And since we don't have the wherewithal to even clean it, we have dirty glass. So, and on the other hand, anything that's heritage, to a large extent, is shunned, brought down shamelessly. I saw many of you remember the Gandhi Medical College, the one that was there in Bashir Bagh. They had an old building, and it was razed overnight. Why? Because you're going to bring up
an entertainment, an urban entertainment center, a nice euphemism for a mall. Now, so you see where it's happening. Anything that's old is to be done away with. Look at another city like, Moscow or Prague or something that you would go to. The external building is maintained, the beauty of the old building is maintained, and the inside with all the facilities of AC or heating or water is done. So maybe we don't go into that, we just raise it to the ground. And so there is a disconnect between, and I will continue with what he has said about this clash, the clash of what we believe is development and the clash with what we believe can be done away with. And I think any city has a character, and that character is basically being eroded today.
So what you're saying is that somewhere it's easier to remove the heritage building or a difficult building and start afresh, because so we are basically saying that we are not challenged enough to handle that situation.
No, I think
because,
we are not. I think we as
or is it
a
that the concern that we
citizenry,
don't have?
we are not bothered. I
So
think
it's the
we are indifferent. I think we as citizens don't care. I think we are happy with a nice. I didn't see any protest for that particular building. Nobody even bothered. I don't think people were even aware. So I think buildings is just one example. I'm just making one example of it. I think the whole people are disconnected with the city they live in. The disconnect is we don't care enough. We don't really care enough. As he said, somebody's face is cut like Shurpanaka and nobody bothers.
Okay, so
we're living amidst that ugliness, and we're happy to wear blinkers and move on into our own little personal cocoons and thinking that we're having a great life. We live in our own personal beautiful spaces.
so does that
but we don't care about what happens outside.
So does that disconnect or that whole attitude about not caring, does it come from the pressure that you're living in a city and you have to make the two ends meet?
No, I think
great
it's lack of
difficulties.
ownership. I think we do not own the city. I think half the problem is lack of ownership. We believe that ये मेरा काम नहीं है, वो government का काम है, किसी और का काम है, municipality का काम है. That is the issue. The issue is, it's not me. It's the city is me. I am saying the city is not something outside me or outside any of us here. The city is us. The city is breathing as much as you and I breathe. And what we put out into the city in terms of attitude, in terms of ownership, in terms of love for the city or indifference for the city is going to come back to us. And we are indifferent. And I think that is the essential attitude problem that we may need to crest as civil society, as government. And that might be the disconnect that I would look at, because once you have ownership, everything falls into place.
So you have to be friendly to the water bodies and all.